God's work right now. Give me a second. A second. Almost done.
Okay.
I had to fit it in this little ass corner. All right. So how am I sounding?
You sound good.
All right. I'm gonna take your word for it.
You sound pretty good to me.
All right. All right. Since you're host one, we can start whenever you want.
That's where we start. Welcome to the Deep Dive Den. I'm the Honey Bun Hobo.
And I'm the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is our late night brain cave where we overthink the stories we love, movies, anime, video games, D&D, and our own books, and the weird theories that spin out of all of that.
If you're the kind of person who finishes something and then spends an hour on the couch going, okay, but what did that ending actually mean? You're in the right place.
Today's a bit different from what future episodes will be. We wanted to start by telling you who we are and how we met. Shout out to our mutual friend Quickfoot and what you can expect from this show.
And we're also going to tell you about episode 2, which is our first real deep dive, the D&D campaign we ran together and how it basically changed our lives.
All right, now we're moving into the Quickfoot story where me, Boogie, and Quickfoot all met.
That's you.
So let's start where this whole thing really began, at a session 0.
The most sacred of nerd rituals, of course. Though, for those of you who don't know what a session 0 is, if you're new to the nerd community, the session 0 in a D&D campaign is essentially where all the players get together to discuss characters and story beats and how, like, origin stories for said characters, etc.
So I walk into our D&D session 0. I barely know anybody there, and our boy Quickfoot points at you and goes, "That's Boogie."
That's Boogie. We might have to keep that one in there. So, just for the sake of maybe keeping this in, we're kind of heavily scripting this episode just to get a basis for what's going on. To basically, he's going to get a drink of a carbonated beverage. That's going to go great on a talk show. Pardon my language, we'll bleep that out.
You spilled it all over myself.
Anyway, we're scripting this episode just so we can kind of get through it easier for, it's our first episode, and try to get the audience well acquainted with us as best we can. So we're going to take this one from the top.
Yeah, okay, so I walk into the D&D session 0, I barely know anyone, and our mutual friend Quickfoot points at you and says, "Hey, that's Boogie. We're cooking up a campaign together, and I think that you'd really like it."
Which, by the way, is probably the absolute worst way to be introduced to someone. It's like, hey, this is my good friend, Boogie Woogie. No. This is the guy I come up with crazy ways to torture people mentally in a game for amusement.
Exactly.
That's essentially what I was.
We sat down at the table with our character sheets and snacks and drinks and whatever else we had at the time. It's been a minute, so I don't really remember. I'm thinking, okay, this is the dungeon master I've been hearing so much about.
And all I really thought is, I'm the dungeon master that Quickfoot has been telling this guy I am, so I've got to be good, even though I'll tell you guys right now, not the best dungeon master. And, well, I didn't really have much to go off of from what Quickfoot told me. It was really just like, oh, this is just a couple of buddies of mine. Sitting there, he used to have long hair. Honey Bun used to have a real lock of hobo hair. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, this guy seems a little aloof. How's his character going to play? How are we going to vibe? I'm not too sure. Maybe this could be good. Maybe this could be bad.
Yeah. Before we even started our characters, we were all just sitting there going on tangents about things we were interested in. D&D, movies, anime, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Probably for about 30 minutes.
30.
Before we even started characters and shit. Bleep that out. I curse like a sailor. I'm sorry about that for everyone I know.
Here, we'll just redo that one.
I don't know. I was leaving that one in there. I was having that one be candid.
Yeah,
but, screw me, I guess.
And things escalated from there pretty fast. We went from nice to meet you to what if we ran a campaign that messed with the reality of how.
Take that part out. Take that part out of the scripts. You stupid son of a bitch.
I was reading it.
Yeah, you read it fine, but it's when you get to that. What does that stupid say? God damn. From the top? I'm gonna let you fix that sentence.
Okay. And it escalated fast from there, from nice to meet you to discussing possible character ideas with my character, Drad, in our campaign, and how my backstory coincidentally intertwined with Quickfoot's character's backstory.
Yeah. We're not going to go into that in this episode. You're going to have to stay tuned for late installments. But I digress. I think really that moment of us, going back and forth about different ideas for D&D and like characters and backstories and whatnot is the moment where I was like, okay, we don't just like the same stuff. We like picking it apart, making it weird, and coming up with theories and way to make it more complex.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the DNA of this podcast. Quickfoot, if you're listening, this is your fault.
Yeah, we blame you.
Yeah, you brought us together.
You can go straight to hell.
You actually inspired the idea.
You have doomed all the world for the creation of this podcast. It's all your fault.
Now we're going to get into reasons why we love deep dives so much.
Oh yeah. Forgot it was my part. Sorry. From the top. Yeah. From the top.
I'm keeping that in.
Okay, you know what? If we get to keep up your mess ups, we'll keep in that mess up. Sorry. Yeah, that's my turn. What I noticed pretty quick is we don't just go, yeah, that movie was cool. We end up asking, okay, but what was that movie actually about? What are some of the weird things that can come from the movie? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, like theme, symbolism, why that one line hits so hard, how it mirrors stuff in our own lives, stuff like that. Yeah,
like to keep things somewhat topical, a movie that we watched recently, Obsession. Throughout that whole movie, we didn't really talk during the movie, but after the movie, we talked about like all the different theories about what it was about and how they could have gotten out of it and how they could have changed things differently, or gone about doing all the wish stuff in that movie differently.
And yeah, partially how the wish system works itself.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Though, again, we're not going to go into it here, first episode and all, but maybe in a future installment, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But, and that doesn't just go for movies. The same went with D&D. It's not just we rolled dice and killed a dragon. It's what does this say about our characters? What does these actions say about us as players that we are making?
Right. So the deep dive then is basically us inviting you into that style of conversation. We're going to overanalyze movies, anime, games, and our campaigns until we break them open and find the good, weird stuff inside.
Yeah. Now let's move on to part 5, where we are going to explain to you the structure of the show, or as we're going to call it, our dives.
So what can you actually expect from a normal episode? We break everything into what we call dives. A cinema dive is when we go deep on a single movie.
Yeah, so for example, as we talked about earlier, Obsession, the movie came out, it's very topical. We're definitely going to do it. Everyone's talking about it. We'll go into that. We already gave examples of it. We'll probably go into other movies that are our favorites, like the horror franchise Smile is another good one. We might go into what would be another good movie, like Terminator, maybe.
The Backrooms.
The Backrooms, which has a very funny history between me, Honey Bun, and Quickfoot. I haven't seen it yet. Honey Bun has seen it, and Quickfoot has seen it. Honey Bun hates it Quickfoot loves it. I'm undecided because I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to be the deciding vote on whether that movie is complete and utter garbage or not.
Now we move on to an anime dive. It's for series, a season, or a specific arc in
Just all of anime.
yeah, all of it.
So for an anime I really want to do one day, we would go into the specific arc of the Dark Tournament in Yu Yu Hakusho. For those that have seen it, for anyone who hasn't, I recommend go watch it. It's great. We can talk about just all the nuances, all the fights, like how greatly structured it all is, and the choreography and all that, and just the themes. And then we can go into other animes, like specifically a favorite between me and my co-host, Black Clover. We're big fans of that anime. We can talk about I think it's called the Elf Resurrection arc.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just example for future anime dives.
The next dive is called a dungeon dive. It's where we talk about D&D stuff, campaigns, characters, world building, and even the book that my co-host here, Boogie Woogie, wrote himself. It's about the D&D campaign that brought us all together.
Yes, that is going to be a future episode. Is it a little self-indulgent to make an episode based on a book I wrote that we all had a part in? Yes. Do we care? No. We don't. We'll do it. I don't care.
And sometimes we go into fringe dives where we talk conspiracy theories and weird mental rabbit holes these stories send us down, such as Obsession. That led us down a few different rabbit holes.
Well, it's not really. Yeah, it's not really I guess it kind of.
There's not really a conspiracy we talk about in that, but theories behind how.
Yeah, theory. But conspiracy theories, we'll probably go over like cryptids. We would, for my camera's frozen. Oh, there it is. For conspiracy theories, we could go. We would have to go for like a cryptid, like the Goat Man.
Yeah.
For Quickfoot's sake, we would have to do that for him.
Now we move into the episode structure.
I'll let you take that one.
Inside an episode, we follow a pretty set path, so you always know where we're at. We start with what we call surface level. That's our first impressions and a quick spoiler, light summary of what to expect inside the episode. Then we go into the depths, which is the big story and theme breakdown. What's this plot and story really about? After that, we hit a section called Hidden Currents. Characters, symbolism, little details, the craft stuff like shots, music, and game design. Things we think about like, hey, the lighting in that scene looked amazing.
And talk about that all day for Obsession.
Oh, yeah. Then we go off the deep end. That's where we introduce our wild head cannons, D&D style what-if scenarios, and the borderline unhinged theories that a lot of people might be thinking to themselves.
Can't wait for the what-ifs on my book.
I know. And finally, we come to the last section where we come up for air with our closing thoughts, scores, or takeaways on whatever it is we watched, and what we recommend you check out next if you really liked it. So even if we're bouncing between movies, anime, games, and D&D, it'll still feel the same throughout each episode. So even when we're bouncing between movies, anime, games, and D&D, it still feels like the same familiar journey every episode.
With all very topical names. Like off the deep end and come off for air.
Next episode is our first true deep dive, and we're starting with Home Territory, our D&D campaign.
Yes, this is the campaign that I ran and that Honey Bun played in, which pretty much started our whole friendship.
Yeah, we're going to treat it just like we would a movie or anime dive. We'll talk about the story we built and the themes we accidentally or intentionally kept hitting, the moments where us as players broke the plans of our DM and what we learned as storytellers.
If you've ever finished a session and thought, wait, that felt like an episode of a show, episode 2 is for you.
And even if you don't play D&D, think of it as a custom story we're breaking down from the inside.
Or, let's talk like us breaking down the story of a book, one that I wrote. So that's who we are, how we met, and what the Deep Dive Den is all about.
If this sounds like your kind of nerdy, overthinking late night vibe, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss that episode 2 dungeon dive into our campaign.
We'd also love to hear from you. Tell us how you met your favorite nerds, or what story, movie, anime, game, or whatever you still think about way too much.
You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for the time being, with future platforms coming soon. Send us your own deep dive candidates and maybe we'll tackle them in a future episode.
Thanks for hanging out in the den with us. We'll see you next time.